We are living through an era where football's elite clubs are executing some of the most aggressive, high-stakes squad overhauls in modern sports history. Across Europe, we have witnessed unprecedented financial commitments, multi-million-dollar war chests emptied in a single window, historic clubs breaking their transfer records back-to-back, and young talents being secured on decade-long contracts to lock in the next generation of dominance. On the surface, it looks like a flawless golden age of sporting ambition, a series of massive, headline-grabbing wins for the world's most powerful sporting directors. But within all of this celebration, there is complexity. Beneath the glossy press releases and the excitement of the fans, a series of micro-frictions is threatening to tear these projects apart from the inside. Sporting directors are facing severe friction in negotiations as selling clubs dig in their heels, demanding astronomical fees for unproven teenagers. There is a quiet, simmering anxiety among coaching staffs who are being forced to integrate raw talent at the expense of tactical stability. Crucial injuries to existing squad pillars are forcing panic buys, and external media drama is constantly threatening to destabilize dressing room hierarchies. The margin for error has. To truly understand how this high-stakes chess match is playing out, we have to look at the exact battlegrounds where these forces are colliding. In this deep dive, we will analyze Andrea Berta's aggressive pursuit of Ayyoub Bouaddi, the high-leverage rejection surrounding the bid for Monga, the tactical and psychological implications of the massive offer on the table for the player dubbed the new Kvaratskhelia. Make sure you stay with me until the very end of this breakdown, because every single one of these transfers is interconnected, and missing just one layer will leave you blind to how the European football hierarchy is shifting. Chapter 1. The Bouaddi pursuit. Market insiders have confirmed that Atletico Madrid's sporting director, Andrea Berta, is personally driving an intense recruitment campaign to secure Lille's teenage midfield sensation, Ayyoub Bouaddi. The data point backing this up is staggering. At just 16 years old, Bouaddi became the youngest player ever to feature in a UEFA club competition match, and his underlying metric profile shows a press resistance rating in the top 5% of all developmental midfielders across Europe's top 5 leagues. Here is my take on this situation. Andrea Berta's obsession with Bouaddi isn't just a standard scout-recommended talent grab. It is a calculated response to a deeper psychological and tactical crisis within Atletico Madrid. For over a decade, Diego Simeone's identity has been built on a rigid, hyper-aggressive, low-block system that relied on veteran warriors. However, modern football has evolved, and Atletico is caught in a fascinating dual dilemma: tactical identity versus generational adaptation. If battle-hardened veterans, Atletico risks becoming tactically obsolete, unable to play through the sophisticated, high-pressing blocks of elite Champions League opposition. But if he forces a 16 or 17-year-old profile like Bouaddi into Simeone's demanding system, he risks breaking the player's confidence and destroying the defensive solidity that defines the club. The cognitive dissonance here is striking. While the reality is a friction-filled clash between a sporting director looking at the next decade and a manager who thinks exclusively about the next 90 minutes. Berta is trying to buy technical assurance in tight spaces, but he is dropping it into a dressing room that still measures a player's worth by their willingness to suffer. Exclusive analysis. Note: even rivals who previously criticized Atletico's rigid scouting network have privately admitted that securing Bouaddi would be a massive coup, effectively stealing a march on Real Madrid and Premier League scouts who are waiting for the player to mature further. This intense administrative push for elite midfield control is not happening in isolation, however. It represents a broader, systemic desperation to secure elite profiles before their market valuation becomes completely untouchable. A reality Atletico learned the hard way, turned their attention to other emerging targets. Chapter 2. The Monga rejection. Fabrizio Romano and top-tier French outlets have verified that a formal, highly competitive opening bid for the emerging talent, Monga, has been flatly rejected by his parent club. The exact detail leaked from the negotiation table indicates that the bid was turned down not because of the base valuation, but due to the structured payment terms and the lack of easily achievable add-ons, with the selling club demanding a guaranteed, upfront premium. My analysis here is that this rejection exposes a massive shift in the transfer market's psychological dynamics. We are witnessing a classic standoff of immediate liquidity versus future risk mitigation. Buying clubs, terrified of financial fair play and profit and sustainability rules, are trying to protect their balance over 4 to 5 fiscal years. Selling clubs, meanwhile, have caught on to this tactic. They realize that in an hyperinflationary market, cash today is worth far more than a promise of cash tomorrow. Consider the underlying friction this creates for the buying club's recruitment department. They identified Monga as a market inefficiency, a player whose current output vastly outperforms his public profile. But by having their opening gambit publicly rejected, they have inadvertently triggered a signaling effect. They have told the rest of the world exactly how highly they value this talent, inviting rival clubs to enter the fray. The media will frame this rejected bid as a failure or a sign of financial weakness, attempting to stir up panic among the fan base. But our community of analytical minds knows better. This is a deliberate test of nerve. It is a game of chicken where the buying club must decide whether to overpay and compromise their long-term financial health, or walk away and risk watching a transformative talent explode under a rival manager. The community perspective. While mainstream outlets scream about a failed bid, the tactical reality is that the club is holding a firm line on asset valuation.